Hi, my name's Natalie, and welcome back to Rhetoric 101. Today, we're going to continue our exploration of rhetoric by focusing on pathos, the emotional appeal. Before we dive in, let's do a quick recap. In episode 1, we introduced rhetoric as the art of persuasion, and we talked about the difference between arguing and fighting, framing argument as productive disagreement. In episode 2, we explored ethos, or credibility, and how trust is the foundation of persuasion. Now, in today's episode, we're turning to pathos and how emotion shapes the way we think, decide, and ultimately act. So, for starters, what is pathos? Pathos is the appeal to an audience's emotions. It's the second of Aristotle's three rhetorical appeals, alongside ethos and logos. But it's important to clarify something right away. Emotion is not the opposite of logic. In fact, emotion plays a major role in decision making. As Heinrichs explains, people rarely make decisions based purely on logic. Logic might help analyze the situation, but emotion is often what pushes us to take action. A simple way to think about it is this: logic makes people think, emotions make people act. Heinrich emphasizes that effective persuasion depends on understanding your audience's emotional state and adjusting your message accordingly. Different emotional tones can lead to very different outcomes. For example, anger can energize people, but it can also shut down productive conversation, whereas calmness, on the other hand, can open the door to dialogue. Or fear can create a sense of urgency, but too much of it can overwhelm. Hope can inspire action by giving people something positive to move towards. And pride can motivate people to live up to shared values, while shame can either push change or cause defensiveness. The key is emotional alignment. When the tone of your message matches what the audience is feeling or what they need to feel, your argument becomes much more persuasive. So, how do we use pathos effectively? One major tool is storytelling. Stories help people connect emotionally. They can create empathy and allow audiences to see themselves in a situation. Personal narratives, in particular, make ideas feel real and relatable. Another tool is vivid language. The way something is described can help shape how it feels. Imagery and descriptive wording can make an argument feel more engaging and emotionally impactful. There's also identity and belonging. Appealing to the shared values or group identity can be incredibly powerful. When people feel like something reflects who we are, they're more likely to respond emotionally. And finally, timing and mood matter. A message that works in one emotional context might fail in another. Understanding when to use humor, seriousness, or urgency in empathy is key to effective persuasion. And just like ethos, pathos is everywhere in our daily lives. Think about advertising. Many campaigns don't just give information, they make you feel something. Happiness, nostalgia, empathy, these emotions are what sticks. An example of this is any of those dog shelter commercials. They're going to show a picture of a sad old sick puppy, and it's going to make you feel like you want to help them. Another example is political speeches. They often aim to inspire hope and create a sense of urgency or bring people together around shared values. On social media, posts often go viral not because they're logical, but because they trigger strong emotions, especially anger or excitement. And even in personal arguments, emotion plays a huge role. The tone you use can determine whether a conversation becomes productive or turns into a conflict. And pathos itself doesn't just work alone. It works very closely with ethos. Emotion without credibility often fails. If people don't trust you, emotional appeals can come across as manipulative or insincere. On the other hand, credibility without emotion can feel cold or disconnected. A purely logical argument might be respected, but it won't necessarily make people act. Ethos builds trust that allows pathos to be effective. Together, they create persuasion that is both believable and motivating. So, to wrap up today's episode, pathos is the emotional appeal in rhetoric. Emotion plays a central role in decision making, and ultimately, emotion is what drives action. As you go through your day, start noticing how often emotion is used to persuade you, and how you use it to persuade others. Because once you recognize pathos, you start to see just how powerful emotion really is in shaping the world around you. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.